Silson, and this is Janice B. Gordan from the Problem Solving Company, or as you may know her as the Problem Solver. She is the author of Business Evolution, Creating Growth in a Rapidly Changing World. And today we're going to talk about securing, maintaining and growing your most valuable customer. So Janice, tell us about your startup story first.
I'm going to go back to the late 1980s, and I started a business where I went out to New York and took sample designs and just kind of went to library research, fashion companies, and met with people and sold the designs. So I thought, oh, this is a good idea. I can make some money doing this. So I then came back to the UK, and because I'd sold all of my designs, I then actually started representing other people, and then would go out to New York about 3 or 4 times a year. And that was my first proper business. And it was really because I just started talking to people. I didn't expect when I first, in actual fact, I was looking for what opportunities there were for work and had to show them my design. So that's how the business actually came about. And I ran that for about 4 years or so, representing other people with their sample designs. Every time I went, I researched new companies and I'd go further afield. So in the end, I was going from Boston to North Carolina on trips, and it was wonderful. I met some incredible people. Having an English accent, that really did help. But also, then and now, England is considered to be real innovators and have a really good sense of style and fashion. And there's a lot of designers, actually English designers, that work all over the world. And so going to America, there was a real buzz about when I kind of came through, especially a black woman as well, coming through at that time in the 80s. So that was my first business. Now fast forward to now, and there's a common element actually. When I decided to set up this business, I didn't have a website. I used my LinkedIn account. I didn't spend lots of money on branding. I didn't really even have a name. I went under my name. I went around lots of networking groups and started talking to potential customers and listened to other people's 60 seconds their elevator pitch and looked at really where there was a niche, where there was something that I could offer that others weren't already offering. What was unique and different about what I could do for this particular group of customer. And it was about 18 months into this, I used to have free consultation for half an hour, talk to companies, not necessarily about what I did, but really what their problem was. And I'd often hear myself saying, well, you're focusing on the problem, let's talk about the solution. That's how my name came about, the Problem Solving Company or the Problem Solver, because I kept using those words, so it kind of made sense to use that as my brand name. And thereafter I kind of got the URL for that and built a website. So the key thing is actually I just went out there and I started talking.
Nice, that's really good, a really nice story. So if I'm a business starting out, so starting right from the beginning, how do I secure my first customer? What would you say? How do you do that?
Well, I mean, I would take that as a lead. Go out and talk to people. There's a lot of people that think, oh, their idea is so precious. I can't talk to anyone. Everyone's going to steal my idea. Well, the best thing you can do is talk to your potential customers, talk to your potential suppliers, talk to everybody. Talk to people that might know your group of customers as well. Start to refine not only your idea, your business model, start to refine your pricing model, start to refine who are your key competitors in the market and really find out a lot about them. Interview absolutely everyone, even your neighbour might know somebody that knows somebody, you just don't know who they have in their address book. Talk to everybody. So that's the first thing that I would do. And then, so getting your first customer, talk to everybody, refine your niche, and start, really simply. Don't have the greatest website. I meet so many people that spend hours, well, months, and £4,000 making the greatest website with all the bells and whistles, and then they find a year later no one's using the bells and whistles, and not even them. They're not using it, or they've changed their business model because they've found another niche group because they've gone out and that's because they didn't do the initial research. So actually, really start simply. Don't put lots of money into it, just get out there. Ideally, get your first customer and then, get the customer, sell it and then make it. That's the best thing to do as well. Because it really gives you a psychological boost to know that you've got some money coming in. It may be that you're working, you're doing it part-time, or you're going kind of fully into it, but actually having one customer to get you started. There's a steep learning curve in business, and you know, it's really useful kind of having that in place.
So you say, once I've got my first customer, how do I maintain them? How do I keep them with me?
Well, you know, like when we start a business, we have a customer, we want to find out lots about them. What then happens when we've got the customer? We stop. All of a sudden, we think we know everything and everything about that customer, but you've only really just scratched the surface. What I say to people is that what you should do is think about your customer. You've got the vehicle, whether that's your product or service. Your customer's relationship is going to carry you through until journey's end, the lifetime of that customer. But your customer has the points of the destination. Okay. So you've got to constantly ask your customer, is this the right product? Are we going in the right direction? So just think about, they're the ones that's plotting the path, not you. All you have is a vehicle and you've got nowhere to go. Right, your customer is driving it. The customer is the one that's taking you from point to point. Or if you're a train, if you prefer that analogy, your customer are the people. Every time you sell, all you've done, you've reached a station point, but you've got another station point to go. So the link between one station point and another is actually the relationship. Every time you sell something, every time you do something, it's another level into relationship. Okay. How can you keep building that relationship? What more do you need to know? How can you better service them? What more can you do? The more that you embed yourself with that customer, the longer you're going to have that relationship for. The closer to your customer you can be, the longer you're going to have that relationship. The longer you have the relationship, the more valuable they are, the more money they'll make for your company, but you actually start to become a bit of a partner to their business as well. So really think, you know, if you're doing B2C customer relationships, think of them as a segment of customers that have kind of similar problems, and so then you've got a particular solution you need to serve them. So you're going to be surveying different customers within that segment to get a really clear view of really what that segment wants. Okay. Yeah? But you're constantly surveying the different people within that segment. If it's B2B, then it's going to be learning more about that business. What's the relationship that business has to other competitors, to other people in their market, to really understand that business's customer as well. So they may be your customer, but what does their customer, what's their customer's problems? How can you help them do a better job with their customer? So, but you're constantly asking those types of questions. So really, I want people to think about these are just station stops or points in a journey. The first sale is actually just leading you on to the next sale if you keep asking the questions and having kind of those feedback loops.
So is that how I grow them as a customer? So do I have to listen to them and work out what journey they're on? Is that how I grow them as a customer?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about you. When we set up in business, we're so precious about our business. We think it's the most original thing in the whole world. And we put a lot of time in it, and we make lots of sacrifices. So it's really understandable to think about, you know, you're the most important thing in the business, but actually you're not. Without customers, you don't have a business. So sadly, you're probably the least important person in the business. All you are is a conduit to actually enable your business to grow, really. And your business won't exist without your customers. So you've really got to keep in touch with your customers and find out what your customers' problems, and all you're doing is evolving your solution to keep fitting your customers' needs. So yeah, you've got to find out really what's happening in their life, what's important to them, not what's important to you. And that's with speaking their language as well. I'm often asked by clients to go out and interview their customers. The reason for that is quite difficult for an owner to ask those pertinent questions. Yeah. It's a lot easier for me to do that because I can say as an independent person, I'm going to get the honest answer, and I can really kind of push the buttons a little bit. It's not going to affect the business relationship. And I come back with all of these interesting things that the company didn't know about, and then they can evolve their products. So it's really important to keep asking your customers.
So if I'm learning all about my customers and their needs, me as a business, how do I actually just grow my business and me and my company?
Do you know, life is lifelong learning, really.
You're
And
going to tell me it's not about me.
Well, you know, if you think you know it all, then that's it. You know, your business really isn't going to survive, because my book's called Business Evolution, and you know, and it's talking about a rapidly changing world. When I set up one of my businesses, it was just at the beginning of Facebook. So lots of the old, more traditional businesses were marketing in a different way, and I was using Facebook. We won lots of awards. We got lots of customer engagement because of that. So you've got to constantly keep yourself up to date with the new ways of marketing your business.
Yeah.
And I talk to lots of businesses that say to me about social. Oh, you know, I'm not interested in that, and it's all about chatting. And it's like they have no idea how they can market their business, not only within their local community or their normal region, but globally as well. You have customers all over the world, and it's so easy and it's a lot cheaper to actually access all of those customers. Those customers that you've identified that are within your niche group, they're all over the world, and it's easy to get hold of them. And then you've got this free tool, more or less free tool, it's just your time, to actually access them. Who wouldn't do that? It's absolutely madness. So, you know, you've really got
it now.
Hi! Yeah, so it's absolutely, you know, you've got to use new tools that are available to you to continue to evolve your business, because guess what? Your customers are evolving.
Yeah.
They're constantly embracing new technology. They're doing it at a faster rate than you can ever keep up. But if you're not in the game, then you're absolutely lost.
So how do I start to be in the game? So what is the next step? So if I'm a business and all I want to do is think about a growth strategy, where do I start in that? So just starting out, wanting to grow.
Okay, so we've talked about how do you find your customer, your first customers, and how do you maintain them, keep them really happy, staying close to them. The growth bit is actually, once you've actually understand who your niche group of customers are, and looked at really who are your best customers, who are your most valued customers, who are the ones that you have the greatest relationship with. And it's going to be only about 20% really of your customers. And you want to build up a very good picture of what their preferences are. Then once you've got that persona of your most valued customers, all of the characteristics and demographics and the relationships that you have with the different parts of the business, once you've actually got that, the ID of your ideal most valued customer or group of customers, then you want to find more of them, don't you? Because you get on really well with them, and they're your most valuable customers. So in growing your business, it's actually not this scattergun of just going out and doing more. It's actually thinking strategically about the customers you've already got, how you can grow more of the ones that you really like and the ones that you like you. So it could be that you go global with it. So you've got this persona of your most valued customers, and you think, okay, well, are any of those in Australia or in America? Well, of course they are. Well, how do I find them? It might be that you're mainly in London. Well, how can I grow it in Newcastle? You know, there must be those there. You know, or it might be that you're developing a new product with the idea of selling it to your most valued customers. So after you've done all the research and asked them all the questions and all the feedback loops, that's another way of growing your business. You already have a relationship with those customers, your most valued customers. You're going to invest in designing new products for your most valued customers. You know, you don't have to start at the beginning. You've already got that trust. Guess what? They're probably going to buy it, especially as you've just done all the research on your most valued customers. They think you've made it from them. That's a much easier sale, isn't it? So growing, people tend to think about growing their customer base is starting again. No! You actually start with what you've already got. You either start with having a new product for the group of customers you've got, the solid relationship that love you and you love them, your most valued customers, or you actually find more of that type of customer somewhere else. That's a real growth strategy.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. Do we have any questions? No? Thank you very much, Janice, for your time. That was really great.
Great, excellent.
Thank you.